Let's do one more. Here is scenario 3, a mistake discovered after a transaction is completed. Let me set up the scenario for you. As a title insurance producer, you recently finalized a real estate transaction and the deal is closed. Weeks later, you discover that an error occurred during the title search and preparation process. Specifically, an old lien on the property was missed and not cleared before closing. The buyer, who now owns the property, is unaware of this issue and is at risk of being held financially responsible for the unresolved lien. This scenario presents a significant ethical and professional dilemma. You must determine the best course of action to address the error while protecting the interests of the affected parties and maintaining your credibility as a professional. Again, what are the key ethical questions in this scenario? What is the nature of the mistake? Let me ask you, what caused the error, the oversight in the title search? Was it an incomplete record, an uneducated researcher, or maybe it was something else entirely? How significant is the impact on the buyer and other parties involved? Was the error due to negligence on your part, a team member, or an external factor? Who are the affected stakeholders? Well, the buyer faces financial and legal risks due to the unresolved lien. The seller could potentially share some responsibility for not addressing the lien. You could be risking your professional reputation and potential legal consequences. And your company could face liability or reputational harm if the issue escalates. Think about the legal and ethical considerations as an ethical professional. Duty of care. As a title insurance producer, you are responsible for conducting a thorough title search to ensure the accuracy and completeness of your work. Duty to disclose. Once the error is identified, you have a legal and ethical obligation to notify all affected parties promptly. And what about the title insurance policy? Yes, the title insurance policy should provide coverage for errors or omissions. But you must ensure the buyer understands how this coverage applies, or might not, in their specific situation. What are the potential consequences of inaction? For the buyer, there is a potential of financial loss if the line holder demands payment, loss of trust in your services, and loss of business. For you as the title producer, you will undoubtedly have a loss of professional credibility and maybe even potential legal action. Furthermore, you have a risk of disciplinary action from licensing authorities, for your company might share in the liability for the financial impact of the error. Plus, once again, damage to the firm's reputation and potential loss of business. So here is a recommended course of action. Immediately notify all affected parties. Contact the buyer and explain the situation honestly and transparently. Inform the seller and any other relevant parties about the issue. Accept accountability for the error and reassure the buyer that you are taking steps to resolve it. Here is an example response. We discovered an oversight in the title search that resulted in an unresolved lien being missed during your transaction. We deeply regret this mistake and are taking immediate steps to address it. I would also suggest that you involve the title insurance provider. You may have to file a claim with the title insurance provider to cover the costs associated with resolving the lien. Also, ensure the buyer understands how the title insurance policy will protect them in this situation. You could work with the lien holder to negotiate the release or settlement of the lien. And finally, coordinate with the buyer, seller, and any legal representatives to resolve the matter as quickly and smoothly as possible. I would suggest that you document and keep detailed records of all actions taken to resolve the issue and review your company's internal processes. You could also identify how the error occurred and implement safeguards to prevent similar mistakes in the future. These are just a few very basic scenarios that could occur. And of course, I can't cover every possible situation because I have seen a lot of weird things over my years of being in real estate. If you have a specific issue that you want to discuss, feel free to email me at raymond@realuniversity.com.